like a or something, or I don't know, maybe I thought I saw a beach,
Yeah. Actually,
no? And
I was trying out yung virtual background feature in
ah,
Zoom,
yeah,
but I don't
yes.
have a green screen na background, and with my computer I need a green screen kaya hindi complete yung effect niya, so I just have to turn it off.
Ah,
Uh,
okay, got it. Yeah, that makes sense now. Virtual background. So like, are you in Boracay or something? Oh
I
my God,
wish,
lucky
right?
girl.
I
The best
wish.
place to be at this
I
time.
know, right? Sabi ko nga sa partner ko, after this lockdown, I swear we're moving. We're moving by the
Yeah,
beach.
yeah. The best grounding you can find, the
I
best
know.
sun, and yeah,
Right. Parang makes
yeah,
you think of a lot of things during this quarantine,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I have insights about this quarantine. I think it's useless to stay home and um, do the mask and all of that stuff and social distancing. It's all not necessary. But anyway,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty controversial, huh? That
yeah.
point of
First,
view.
people are gonna hate me. But
Yeah,
it's
they
okay. I don't care.
are.
I mean, that's what biohackers do: challenge known, or what you call this, collective truths that people make themselves
Uh-uh.
believe.
Pero sige,
And
if and I want to explore that. Is that okay?
in this an interview.
Yeah, no, not necessarily this conversation kasi I wanted to flow as naturally as possible. Kaya I was kind of hesitant really to give questions. So it's really
Ah,
possible for us to deviate from the questions that I gave you. No.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because these are just like standard questions anyway. Just needed a framework just in case. So, but I know what to say for your content, for
Yeah.
your
But
show.
the way
Yeah.
that I've been doing this is, and I just my curiosity guide me, and parang I
Okay.
build on my guests' answers, and yeah. So for
Okay.
me, yeah, since this is where our conversation is leading, then I would want to explore that. Is that okay?
Yeah, we can. We can.
Uh,
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
so yeah,
This
so if
isn't live, right?
no, it's
Is this
not.
live or
No. At
okay?
saka it's
You're gonna edit
possible.
it.
Exactly. So like if kunwari nagsisimula pa lang to, but
Mm-mm.
WHO already declared this a pandemic. Like, how would you
Mm-mm.
approach it?
Like, how would I approach it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's already a pandemic. People are already locking down everywhere globally. I
Mm-mm.
mean, it's already it was already declared as such,
Mm-mm.
and we're being forced to treat it like one,
Mm-mm.
right? So we're
Mm-mm.
being forced against our own free will to do whatever they think is right.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
what I think is we're looking in all the wrong places.
Okay.
Are we starting about? Is this the part of the interview now, or no?
Yeah, pwede. I can edit naman kasi. So, but
Okay.
really curious, like, yeah, so you're touching on free will. What else? Ano pang?
Yeah. So we're looking in all the wrong places because what we understand about viruses is that it can be caught. It's a pathogen. Yes, it is. It's not just a pathogen. I was forced to research more on viruses, and apparently we have not just a microbiome, which is the gut bacteria we have, right? We have both good and bad gut bacteria, but we also have a microvirome. So we
Whoa,
are also nursing, yeah, tons of viruses in us. And this is the
that's news
funny
to me.
thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's really news to you, diba? Those microorganisms, they all play a role in all of this. So we can't make them small because they're tiny, but they have a lot of roles that they play. For example, what I read in my research is that viruses are responsible for 1/5 the oxygen conversion on the planet. So actually, we're breathing some oxygen that the viruses are creating for us. So they have a role to play on the
Mm-hmm.
planet. So they're not just scary. They cause smallpox, they cause chickenpox, all that. So they have roles to play.
Mm-hmm.
From a biohacker's perspective, the biohackers, we always look at the biology first. So we look at our cells. Now we
Mm-hmm.
look at mitochondria. So mitochondria are the powerhouses of each cell, and they're tiny, But actually, mitochondria, they are ancient bacteria, and they have their own DNA.
Okay.
So it's so funny how we were being driven, think that we're driving our own lives, but actually we're highly dependent on the health of this ancient bacteria that's living within us. And again, microorganism, right? So when the mitochondria are not working well, then we don't have enough cellular energy. And why is cellular energy important? It's so that we can, the body can function, and the body can do all its mechanisms that it needs to do for repair, to keep us in equilibrium, to keep us in homeostasis. And that means fighting off pathogens, repairing cells, cells that we don't need, detoxifying toxins, all of that stuff. So it does a bunch of stuff. But if it doesn't have enough energy, or if part of the cell is deteriorated, then it won't be able to give the proper signaling for repair. So hence, when there's not proper signaling, then there's sickness, there's illness, and all of that. So we always base all illness, whatever it is, on a cellular level. So we always look at the cellular health. Okay. There's an interesting trend that some biohackers or some doctors turned biohackers have been researching on virus, on pandemics. Okay. So, for example, they blame it on what we call epigenetics, right? Epigenetics is, okay, so we have genes, we have bad genes. So basically, epigenetics is genes load the gun, environment pulls the trigger. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you have good or bad genes. If you have a good lifestyle practice, if you work yourself in a good environment that's biology friendly, the bad genes won't turn off. I'm sorry, the bad genes will not turn on. They will be off. They'll be dormant the whole time. So that's what you call epigenetics. Now, in the past, I don't know, 100 years, 200 years, I believe, maybe in 1700s, we started to toy with electricity. Okay. So that's where electrification of the earth started, the study of it. But only in the past few decades did we really have electromagnetic fields which are invisible in the form of cell phones, Wi-Fi, radiation emissions, so radio frequencies, all of that. So those are all invisible to us. But because they're invisible, we don't know what effects they have on the biology, right? And so it's been known that environment toxins, of which EMF and non-native EMF is a part of, as well as pesticides or gas pollutants, air pollutants, all of that, they have a bad effect on our cells, and they destroy the integrity of our cellular structure. So they destroy our mitochondria. And so our susceptibility to, or our risk to get disease increases tremendously, right? So now, with the rollout of 5G, it has been rolling out all over the planet. In fact, Elon Musk supposedly was given the go-ahead by the FCC to roll out 20,000 units all over the US, I think, and Europe as well. With the rollout of 5G, I mean, 5G has tremendous radiation emission to the body. And so if somebody already has bad lifestyle practices and they already have pretty weak cellular integrity, and then you expose them to 5G, oh yeah, so their cells are going to deteriorate as well. Okay, so from the perspective of one guy who made this research, it is said that the virus is like a messenger. Supposedly a messenger saying that there's a threat going around that's destroying cells. And then this virus can be passed on, much like a message can be passes on to people who will receive it, who have really low cellular integrity. So I don't know, it's interesting to me because once we thought it was like something that passes on or whatever, but actually if you see the virus, it's something that communicates something. It's something that's telling you, hey, there's a threat, and your
Mm-hmm.
body is going to go through something, and it's going to trigger your immune system, that type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
which might be the reason why not everybody gets it,
Yeah.
why there's a particular population that is more prone to becoming sick, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the elderly and men. Apparently, 70% of deaths comprises males because they really have poorer lifestyle practices
I
than
see.
women.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
I
that
think.
statistic. Wow.
Yeah. So that's the thing. For me, it all boils down to how healthy are your cells,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it doesn't matter if it's a pandemic or if it's a common flu, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
which kills 20,000 people a year. That's still a big number.
Yeah.
Or autoimmune or cancer, whatever. It all boils down to how strong are your cells, how strong is your immune system, and what are you doing to fortify it, or what are you doing to weaken it. So it's that. So for me, it's not like if you look at it in that perspective, then it's moot to wear a mask or
Mm-hmm.
to wash your hands all the time or to do social distancing. It's not really about that. I mean, if your immune system is pretty good, then you won't get that message from the virus, right? So ever since I changed my perspective, and I believe that that theory more than this weird thing that governments are making us do to enforce us, again, mind control that the government likes to do. I've been just, free. I'm touching my face, whatever. I'm just living the way I am. Of course, I'm distancing myself from people because they'll freak out, right? But
Yeah.
I don't live in that weird silos where, I have to confine myself, that type of thing. No way. I'm still, I'm freely living, respecting other people, but I touch my face, I touch whatever, and yeah. So that's what I believe.
I see. All right. All right.
Yeah.
So for you, the attack should be. I mean, I'm using attack, or the way that we should be approaching it is to um like adapt a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely.
I
Yeah,
see. All right.
definitely. I think this pandemic is freaking a lot of people out because it kind of magnifies what they haven't been doing right in terms of lifestyle practices. Maybe they're drinking every night, or they're partying, they're not sleeping, they're watching Netflix all day, and
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
so they got scared.
It's funny that that you mentioned that, because personally, that was the message that I got, right? Like, because I don't know how I came up with that insight, but I knew that in order for me to be able to be ready for this virus is to have a strong immune system. So really, I mean, although it was for several days, it was difficult for me to sleep at night, probably because I'm anxious or whatever. But I make sure,
Absolutely.
yeah, but I make sure that I still get enough rest. Like, so because sometimes really my mind doesn't shut off until 2:30 a.m. But then I make sure the rest of the day, I rest up, and I eat okay, and I don't put too much junk in my body, and I listen to my body more now. So yeah, definitely
Yeah.
this pandemic has uh or this virus at least, is pretty effective in sending me that particular message that, hey,
Yeah.
you got to take
Yeah.
care of your body better. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one more thing also I want to quell is the fear of this virus, because that's unnecessary stress that we're putting on ourselves with all the fear mongering and all the if it bleeds it reads, that's how journalism is run these days. It's really not authentic, and there's not a lot of integrity in it.
Mm-hmm.
But why aren't people posting about how many people have recovered, which are in the hundreds of thousands?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, um, it's like any virus you had before. You'll get it, but you'll fight it. Your body will fight it.
I
The
guess
thing is, there is that,
go
yeah,
ahead, go
give
ahead.
your body, yeah, give your body the resources it needs to fight it. So fight along with it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's okay to get it. Like I think the first week of March I got a virus. I don't know if it's COVID, no idea, but I fought it like crazy, because you know how viruses, they fight you in waves. So just like the COVID, the
Yeah,
behavior is, it
that
gets
is true.
worse, then it gets better, and
Yeah,
then it gets worse, and it gets better. It comes in waves. It's a
yeah,
really
yeah.
ebb and flow, because it really has this one intention, is to attack, or again, not to attack, but to send a message. Hey, you're compromised. You're compromised. You're compromised. Do something about it. Do something. You know, it's the body's way of saying, do something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I fought it with my biohacking machines. So just because we're biohackers and we're very healthy, whatever, it doesn't mean that we never get sick. So we
Mm-hmm.
do. I catch the Christmas bug once in a while. The difference is that it only lasts me 3 days
Mm-hmm.
usually, and I don't even break into the fever stage anymore because it's not needed, because I have the machines that are already killing it. Whereas the purpose of the fever is to try to kill the virus with heat, right? But I
Yeah,
already have
yeah.
machines that have heat, that emit heat, and also do other things cellular wise. So
I
in
see.
3 days, it's done.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's the
Actually, that's one
thing.
of the things. That's one of the things that that
Mhm.
I learned over time. You know, when I have a fever, like I have to fight my need for to be comfortable because I'm really hot, right? And in the past,
Yeah.
like my tendency really is to uh bring my temperature down, right? But now I'm like, no, I have to like break through this, right? Like I have to stay here because I know
Yeah.
that this is the only way, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I don't know why this was never done, but when we had a fever when we were kids, they would put us in our beds, in our under our blankets,
Hmm.
and with aircon and whatever.
Yeah,
They put us
exactly.
out in the They
Uh-huh.
should have put us under the sun with few clothes. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we would have recovered much more quickly. Our immune system would have been fortified more efficiently
Mm-hmm.
if
Hmm.
we did that.
Actually, I was wondering about that. Like, would the patients who are uh, stuck in the hospitals, would they be better if they were taken out in the sun? Because like there's an article going around, right? Like how the Spanish flu, how they did it during that
Yes,
time.
yes. Yeah, although in the Spanish flu, in the photo, when I shared that post, I said they should have removed all the clothing, or at least 50% coverage at the
Mm-hmm,
very
mm-hmm,
least, a
mm-hmm,
blanket,
mm-hmm.
just for the sun
Or
to go on
yeah, for
more
maximum
area,
exposure, right? Yeah.
maximum exposure. Exactly, it would have been probably quicker, but it's okay. On the face is okay, better than nothing. In the eyes, where we have the strongest photobireceptors for the sun, that's
Mm-hmm.
fine. As long as they're not wearing shades, that's perfect.
All
Yeah,
right.
but okay, you were asking about the hospital. It's interesting because based on the argument that I was saying about environmental toxin, especially 5G, and it's not just 5G, it's cell towers, it's dirty electricity. So it's our electrical outlets in the house and all of that. If we're going with that theory, then the hospitals, the reason why I think a lot of the frontliners are getting sick is because they're bathed in EMF.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much Wi-Fi going around in the hospital, and there's so much dirty electricity from all their machines, and there's so many cell phones. Every single person in that hospital has a cell phone that they're using with the signal going full blast because they're just waiting around watching Netflix or whatever. I mean, that's a ton of radiation for a body that's already immunocompromised. So that's telling the cells, hey, something's going on. You have to do something, the type of thing. And then, before you know it, your immune system's already breaking down. So that's why my challenge to the hospitals is to cut all Wi-Fi and ban cell phones
Wow. Well,
inside.
you
You
have you
know,
tried sending that message to them?
No, not yet. No, I'm still composing a post, and I'm
Uh-huh.
just trying to see if people will actually make a gut. But there are hospitals now. Actually, I only know of one, Marin County. One of my biohacker cohort classmates there, the wife is a nurse, and she's
Mm-hmm.
doing COVID. She's taking care of COVID patients. Their hospitals already like a biohacking facility, so they use UVC light to
Mm-hmm.
sanitize the rooms instead of sprays or instead of
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's light, and then their Ethernet installed, so there's no Wi-Fi. It's all wired.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
all
I
wired.
see.
So yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm.
So
Nice.
stuff like that. I don't know. It's a challenge. If
It
they do
is.
that, we'll see. We never know until we try. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But if it does, and it means um, less morbidity, less mortality, I mean, that would be amazing already on its own.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's pretty
Yeah.
ironic though that this particular point of view is the controversial one, right?
Yeah.
Because of how
Yeah.
far
Yeah. Yeah.
because of how far we've progressed, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this is the funny thing also. This is ironic. People are have to stay home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what are they doing at home? They're I mean, I'm guilty. Okay, I'm watching Netflix. I'm totally not washing my hands off of this, but people are in Wi-Fi every single day and night, all day.
Mm-hmm.
If they're inside EMF, they're inside their homes where all the appliances are on. They're, you know, staying home might not really be the greatest idea. Go out into the garden, into the sun or whatever. That's what
Yeah.
we need. But again, I'm saying I'm not washing my hands because I've watched Korean Netflix shows for hours, and I'm on my computer working on my website and all of that stuff. So, but I have ways to mitigate EMF radiation in my house as a biohacker. I have installed certain things to help me with that.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's good that you
Yeah,
mentioned, okay, so you're a biohacker. Now,
yeah.
going to the question that I gave you, right? Like, so what
Oh yes,
compelled you? What compelled you to be one? I know that we've talked about this the first time we met, but yeah, for the sake of
yeah,
those who don't know the history,
yeah.
please share with us.
Uh, I'm not sure what really compelled me. I think it's because I came across Bulletproof Coffee in 2015 when it was still it was a burgeoning concept in the Philippines, but already exploded in the States at that time. When I discovered that, and then I read more on Dave Asprey and his thinking, his concept, it just landed really well. I just resonated with it so much.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been against allopathic medicine, which is weird because I have 4 doctors in my family, like direct kin.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been against it. I never believed in it, except for, of course, emergency triage, surgery,
Mm-hmm.
broken bones, all of that stuff. Of course, oh my gosh, go to a doctor. Don't come to a biohacker. But when it comes to longevity,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and life extension, and bringing down your biological age, go to me. Go to a
Uh,
biohacker.
all right.
Yeah, because we honor the body's
Mm.
mechanics of putting itself back in balance, putting itself back in a state of equilibrium or homeostasis.
I see.
It's powerful.
All right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like you have family who are traditional doctors, right? So
Yes.
how do they feel about you pursuing this track?
They're so cool with it
Uh-huh.
because mainly because they really can't stop me because whatever I want. I do whatever I want. I've always been a rebel since I was young. I'm the youngest of 7 kids, and I've always been rebellious and saying what I want. I want to do this, and I've always been pretty independent.
Mhm.
So they just go with whatever I do, no matter how insane it sounds.
Mhm.
And actually, lately they've been quite open to it because I opened my center, right, and I
Uh-huh.
invited them, and they're like, "Wow, this is cool."
Mhm.
And I'll give you an example of something that I don't know. I'm starting to steal patients from them. Is my brother came home from the U.S. for an event that we had a month ago, and
Mhm.
he had sprained his ankle really badly, like short of breaking his ankle.
Mhm.
He sprained it really badly, and his leg was this thick. Okay,
Oh.
so I told him, okay, so it's that thick. Come to Unlimited. Come to my place, and then we'll put you on my machines. And he's like, huh? Why? What's that gonna do? I said, oh, we'll just help with the healing, accelerate it, whatever. And he's like, nah. Okay, I'll just order a brace. So he ordered a brace for my brother, the doctor, and it was 9,000 pesos for an ankle brace. He's like, okay, so he ordered it, and he started wearing it. And then one time he said, hey, I'm going to go to your center just to see what it looks like. I was like, okay, sure. So I put him on the red light. I put him on the pulse electromagnetic fields mat. I put him on nano-V, and then I put, which is inhaled exclusion zone water or
Mhm.
structured
Yeah,
water.
I did that.
Which you did that, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah, exactly, yeah. So that's the bioidentical signaling for cellular repair, right? So and then I put a small gadget on him, which is a microcurrent that puts in voltage equivalent to what it means to be healing. So that's about minus 50 millivolts, I believe. So I put it on him, and then of course you don't feel anything right away, right? Because the work really happens when you sleep. So you
Mm.
give the signals with the machines during the day, and then when you sleep between 12 and 3, human growth hormone comes out. And then whatever you put signals on, the hormones and all the healing agents will go there.
Mm.
So at night, that's why it's always recommended that you get a really good night's sleep, because that's when the body starts its repair. And by the way, for you guys who are working out, when you work out during the day, you grow muscle in your sleep. It's
Mhm.
not during the day. It's in sleep that you grow it, because that's when the HGH comes out to build it. Anyway, cut a long story short, the next day he wakes up and he's like, oh my God, I can walk on it. I can walk on my ankle. It's markedly better. I mean, of course, he's still limping, right? But he didn't expect it to heal that quickly.
Uh-huh.
And then so that he asked my brother if he could return the brace.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then of course my brother's like, no, you shouldn't return it, because you know that it might malform if you don't put it in a like a frame, like a
Mhm.
hard frame. It might, when it heals, it might malform. But for me, I'm like, are you kidding? The body's so intelligent. It knows exactly where it's got to go. So just let
Yeah.
it do its thing. You
Uh-huh.
can't argue with, millions or even billions of years of evolution. Just let it. Our cells are intelligent. Anyway, he's like, can I buy your machines? Because I'm a convert. And he had to keep the brace, unfortunately. But anyway, he totally didn't need it right after
Uh-huh.
that.
That's
So
amazing. That's
yeah,
amazing.
amazing. It really is. We're starting to break into the medical field, and because they're so limiting. They have such limiting beliefs, limiting foresight about
Mm-hmm.
the body, which is so ironic to me. But
Yeah, I
anyway,
was gonna say it's a
yeah,
little ironic. Yeah.
yeah,
But do you
it
guys
is.
get into debates about the approaches and how to heal the body and all of that?
Not at all. Actually, I think they're very accepting now. Like
Okay.
when we have a family chat and they say this, so yeah, antibiotics and blah, blah, blah. I will say stuff. I will say maybe you should take probiotics after, and you should do this. Oh, for example, recently
Mm-hmm.
I posted it on my Facebook that homeopathy has cured COVID positive patients without the need for hospitalization. So, do you know what homeopathy is?
No, no.
Did you know homeopathy? Okay, so it's a natural way of healing.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to explain, but it's not using synthetic materials or chemicals or medicine or anything like that. It's a
Mm-hmm.
concept that was followed after Waldorf, Rudolf Steiner, like heals like. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, it's really fascinating. It's been being used for 250 years already, but just again, like with any traditional healing system, it lost its way because of the industrialization and whatever allopathic med. But homeopathy, uh, people who are in the hospital already with breathing issues and pneumonia, if you give them homeopathy as an adjunct, they get better faster. Or if you do early intervention, you're in first, second stage dry cough, or almost a slight fever, you just give them a particular remedy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even need to go to hospital. It just cures itself. And it's amazing, because this is exactly what I did when I had the virus 2 weeks ago. I did my machines
Mm-hmm.
and I did homeopathy as well. And it was gone in 3 days. Yeah, but I did feel the fatigue. I felt I feel and the mucus and whatever. All I did feel that, but it just gone. I mean, all of a sudden you're like, hey, I'm well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
cool, just like that. Anyway,
Well,
it makes sense.
yeah, but because I read up about that, you know, when someone posted, because we belong in the same circles, right? So the same
Yeah,
article gets circulated, right? And
yeah,
so I saw
yes.
that, and of course, you know how it is with fake news and everything. So of course,
Mhm.
I googled about it, and there were a lot of articles disputing it, you know, disputing its efficacy and saying.
Yeah, of course.
So I
Yeah, yeah,
guess
yeah. There will be.
so I guess, you know, like, again, this is a controversial approach, right? And
Mm,
people
mhm.
are, I guess, more uh, they find traditional medicine more credible, or they feel
Yeah,
safer with that kind of approach.
yeah,
I'm not saying that's wrong. You know, I'm actually, I was pretty stoked, right, that there's an alternative out there that
yeah,
that is more accessible, right,
yeah.
and that people could do in their homes. But it's just unfortunate how not widespread this
Yeah,
information is, right?
yeah, there will always be haters and trolls and disbelievers and people who will, bring you down, whatever. But it all boils down to, we want to try something new, something. Why perpetuate a system that's already broken when you get the same results all the time, which is failure? Why not try something else and be open to something? It just might, you never know until you try. It just might work. But the thing with homeopathy as well is that it's better if you have an experienced practitioner also advise you
Mm,
on what to take, because
mm,
there's a danger in it, because what we're using is we're using poisonous agents like
mm.
belladonna, which is a deadly nightshade. We're using arsenic,
Yeah,
things of that
exactly.
nature.
So when I saw
Yeah,
that, I'm like, seriously,
yeah,
doesn't this thing
yeah,
kill people? So I was like,
yeah.
ah.
But they're in microdoses, right? They're in tiny microdoses.
Uh-huh.
But the thing is, it works. But if you mismatch symptoms with a remedy, you will prove, which means you will pick up the symptoms that arsenic will cause. If you don't have the symptoms and you're neutral, let's say, and you take arsenic, it's like you're ingesting a poison, that type of thing.
I
So you
see.
have to be very careful in prescribing and trying it at home
Mm-hmm,
or
mm-hmm,
whatever. I mean, if you in healthy options, they have homeopathic remedies. They actually have belladonna, but they will tell you what it's for. They'll
mm-hmm,
tell you, oh, this is for fever and all of that. So yeah. So there's of course a caveat, as with everything, but it absolutely works. But if one remedy doesn't work, try another one.
mm-hmm.
Try another one. Keep trying.
So you mentioned about there'll always be haters, or there'll always be trolls, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
do do they discourage you? Like, what's your attitude towards that? And was there ever a time that it was just too much and you're thinking of, like,
Yeah.
what's the point?
No, not at all. And I share this with all biohackers around. I mean, the movement is really picking up, which means that there's really a lot of credibility behind the practice itself. And there's so much, the efficacy is really high. But it's here in the Philippines, it's not trolls or haters. It's more people in disbelief. They refuse to believe that it actually works. It's like, is that fake? Is that like quackery or something? That type of thing. So it's the type of thing that people really have to experience for themselves in order to really be subscribed to the idea of biohacking.
Mhm,
So that's the barrier that I'm finding it difficult to penetrate. Is right
mhm,
now is the belief system of people here.
mhm.
Even if in the US there's quite a following already. But here in the Philippines, it's still, traditional, traditional, traditional. Ay, si Doc kasi kung ano sinabi ni Doc. Sige, tatanong ko muna yung doctor ko.
Mhm,
Ganon. That's what let me ask my doctor first if that's okay.
mm.
Like, I already know what your doctor is going to say. Unless, but more and more there are doctors who are looking into alternative therapies like this. Like a couple of surgeons in Makati Med were actually interested in my work because, whoa, you healed
Nice.
the virus in 3 days, you healed that ankle in a day.
Mhm.
What's going on? type of thing. Um, but still, it's going to take a while. I think
Mhm.
it's going to take a while, but I'm already starting to chip at it.
That's great. That's great. I was gonna say that maybe uh, like the placebo effect, right? Like people could say
Oh,
that that's the thing that's happening, but then I remember your brother who's skeptical, and yet
yeah.
it still worked,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah. By the way, I want a big sign in Unlimited saying, please, placebo, come in. The power of placebo. We want placebo to happen. You know
mhm.
that 40% of the efficacy of drugs is placebo. 40% of the efficacy of allopathic drugs is placebo.
Mm,
Because people take it, they believe it's going to work, then it works. Absolutely, that's powerful.
it
Imagine if you,
is.
you give a pill and you say this is going to work. Yeah, they will heal. It's the power of the mind. It's the power of the consciousness.
Mhm.
It's mind to matter.
I believe it.
Absolutely, I placebo. Go for it. Yes. Yeah, when you believe it's going to heal, it will heal. Because what you see is where you'll be. You know that saying, whether you believe you can or can't, you're right.
Mhm. What you see is
Right?
where
So
you'll be. I like that one too.
yeah, what you see is where you'll be, pretty much.
Right.
I heard that from someone else, but I am stealing it because it's really it's true.
I love how you said that you're slowly chipping away at it, right? Like with
Yeah.
converting doctors. But what keeps you going? I mean, I'm sure that it's a slow process, right?
Yeah,
What
super,
what
super
keeps
slow.
you motivated?
Uh, well, I'm going to be a little bit woo-woo, quantum,
Mm,
whatever about
please,
this,
please.
metaphysical about it, but then,
Uh-huh.
yeah. I did get downloads from I don't know what intuition, I don't know, but that when I started the journey, I got the message: if you build it, they will come.
Mm,
I don't know what, but what came to me was if I built something, people will start to embrace the concept. People will start to embrace the idea of biohacking, taking care and honoring the body, the biology, the power of the biology, harnessing that, and honoring also ancestral wisdom, what our ancestors used to do before the industrialization of the world.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, is that's all we could do is energy work.
I
So
see.
yeah, it's quite slow. I wish it would pick up, but then I'm starting to chip away at it. I'm getting people on the autism spectrum. I mean, the patients that I'm seeing, it's like medical cases: autoimmune, fibromyalgia.
Oh
I'm going
wow.
to get a couple of cancer patients that are going to come as an adjunct to their chemo, and yeah, people with depression,
Mm-hmm.
people with schizophrenia, all of that. I mean, they're practically medical. I'm not a doctor, but I'm so confident that they can heal them because of my understanding of the body's regenerative mechanisms. That when you trigger it, when you activate it, it will do the work for you. You see, if you take care of the body takes care of you.
I like
That's
that.
one of my favorite sayings that I coined, which
Uh-huh.
is true. If you take care of the body, your body takes care of you.
All
So
right.
this whole virus thing, I'm just not nonchalant, but not also cloistered as
Mm-hmm.
everybody makes themselves to be. That they have to be like this. No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know, I take care of it, so I
Mm-hmm.
know it'll take care of me.
Yeah, yeah, it's good that you mentioned that. So I was going to ask, right? So you say take care of the body and the body takes care of you, right? So how do you
Yes.
personally take care of your body? Do you have a routine?
Yeah, I do. I use all my machines. So
Mm-hmm.
first thing in the morning, I do brain training. I have my own machine at home, and I do the Nano V inhalation, the easy water inhalation that you tried. So I do those two together,
Mm-hmm.
and then I also have my own red light at home. So I put that on the body set of treatment. There are particular protocols. I do that daily,
Mm-hmm.
and then my magic machine is the near infrared sauna.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god! when I did that daily, I started doing it daily, my biological age really went down because of that. The healing that it brings is just amazing. It's just 25 minutes, but
Mm-hmm.
it not only detoxifies because it heats up the water in your system. So your structured water, it heats that up, mobilizes it, and then the toxins start to come out of the
Mm-hmm.
cells, and then they start to get flushed, in your sweat. And then it also has infrared light, which is the longest wavelength, and it's invisible, and that penetrates up to 9 inches into your tissue and bone and all of that. And this kind of light is bioactive, which means our body has a reaction to it. In this case, it's a healing reaction. So your cells produce more energy with this wavelength of light.
Mm-hmm.
So you get detoxification and regeneration at the same time. I
Wow.
swear, when I did that daily, I broke 30.
Uh-huh.
So I was my biological age, because I'm 48.
Uh-huh.
My biological age was 30 to 33 for like months, several months, and then I started doing mirror
Mm-hmm.
sauna, and I broke it. It became 29. So
Whoa.
yeah, you can tell
Uh-huh.
how powerful it is. It really really is. Anyway, I brought it to my house, and now I'm doing it because Unlimited is closed, so I'm doing it here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's my routine. And then my diet, I've been through everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was vegan, I was vegetarian, I was paleo,
Yeah.
ketogenic, dirty ketogenic, clean ketogenic, then paleo, and then uh, all meat carnivore, and now
Mm-hmm.
I'm nose to tail carnivore. So I eat
Ooh.
only meat
No
and
freaking.
fat
Whoa, whoa,
and liver.
whoa.
Yeah, so nose to tail, meaning you
Ah,
eat everything in between that
no
you can get.
vegetables
So
at
liver,
all.
zero, no vegetables.
Shoot.
Yeah. So it's the next level to paleo, bulletproof, and
Mm-hmm.
ketogenic,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because it's just meat. But then it's important to have your fat, your ratio to meat, fat to meat higher. So you should
Mm-hmm.
have more fat than the muscle meat,
Mm-hmm.
and then you should always include naman loob, like liver, gizzard. If you can
Mm-hmm.
get brain. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that needs to be nose to tail
Mm-hmm.
carnivore, because it's the way our ancestors ate,
Mm-hmm.
what they hunted, and
Mm-hmm.
it's actually responsible for that exponential growth in our brains when we were evolving.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we became bipedal. That's how we started to have opposing thumbs, and our brains started getting bigger, and hence look at this world, look at this
Mm-hmm.
planet,
Uh-huh.
right? So
Does
yeah,
it
I'm just
matter?
going back to basics.
Does it matter though whether the meat is organic or not?
Yeah, a lot of people will argue, especially like Dave Asprey and biohackers,
Mm-hmm.
always say grass fed is the best, because then
Mm-hmm.
there's no antibiotics, and actually grass finished
Mm,
is
yeah.
the best,
Yeah.
because it will be grass fed but grain finished.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll say grass finished
Mm-hmm.
is a must. But people who biohackers all over the US who have been doing carnivore, they don't care. Like if you follow carnivore, Jordan Peterson, he's this famous author, speaker,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I
He's
know.
the carnivore diet. His daughter had 7 autoimmune diseases since she was a kid, and she had how many surgeries before the age of 13,
Mm-hmm.
right? She got into carnivore diet, and they all disappeared. All of them disappeared.
I'm getting
And
chills
for
right
her, yeah, all disappear. I mean, it's amazing because we're so deficient in, because we believe, well, anyway, we have all these,
now.
but
Mm-hmm.
anyway, um, so she eats anywhere. She eats in a restaurant that's, with antibiotics and hormones or whatever. Her symptoms never come back,
Mm-hmm.
even if she eats non-grass fed
Mm-hmm.
meat. So what's it saying? Uh, the carnivore diet is good. If there are toxins, it will flush it out, or it will neutralize the
Mm-hmm.
toxins or hormones or whatever. Yeah. So again, it's by individuality,
Yeah.
N of one. You are your own experimenter. You're your own lab rat.
Mm-hmm.
So you try it and you feel and you track it. See if that's what biohackers do. N of one, right? N equals
Mm-hmm.
one. So I'll try it, see what effect it has on me. If I like it, I'll keep it. If not, I'll try something else.
I
So
see.
you find your sweet spot, because everybody is different.
True that. True that. Like how
True that.
how long do you usually like stay in a particular type of diet before deciding that no, I don't feel right with this. I'm
Uh,
trying something else.
Yeah, good question. So 2 weeks, I think, 2 to 3 weeks, but I think 2 weeks is good enough. And I also believe, and thank you for bringing that up, I believe that people should change their diets and look at it as course correction.
Mm.
So like for example, when I did carnivore straight for 14 days, at the end of that, I was starting to get hot flashes, and then I felt barren.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't, my insulin was not spiking, and we need insulin, right, to
Mm-hmm.
live. It's not just there to um, distribute glucose to our cells. It has other stuff too. That's part of the immune system. And so after that, I was like, oh my God, I need cake. So I ate a cake and I felt better. So I still eat cake, by the way. I still eat cake because I'm insulin sensitive. I'm not
Ah,
insulin resistant,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's all context. But anyway, when you're trying out a diet, um, you use it as course correction. The
Mm-hmm.
minute you feel it doesn't land well, don't force yourself into it. Try something else. Try something new.
Yeah.
Change something up. You try carnivore, you don't like it, you hate it, go ahead, add veggies. Just do whatever you feel is right for you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I completely agree with that because
Yeah,
so for a
yeah,
time I was stuffing my face with junk, right? So I
yeah,
corrected that by going back to keto because for me I know that a ketogenic diet works really really well for me.
yes,
Right? Like less
yes,
brain fog, I feel so much better. I'm not suing it. I don't have PMS and all that. But so I did
yeah,
that for a week, right, to like reset. But then,
right,
after 7 days, I'm like, I need some carbohydrates. Oh my God.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And it's really recommended to do a cyclical
Mhm. Yeah.
ketogenic diet where you trick the body into insulin again and then go back. You kind of go up and down, up and down, up
Hmm.
and down, up and down.
Hmm.
You trick the body because otherwise, if you go on ketogenic, your metabolism is just going to slow down. You're going to start gaining weight again because your body's saying, "Oh my God, you're starving." So
Hmm.
I'm gonna lower your metabolism, and then you're still eating high fat, and then you're starting to gain weight because there's so much fat because you can't burn it anymore. So the trick there
Mm,
is to refeed, refeed carbohydrates, like you said,
I
and then
see.
go back.
All
Yeah.
right. So it's like is it like a reset?
Yes, it's a
Like
reset.
by
Carb refeed. Yeah.
I see. Okay. So
Yeah.
I didn't know that that was important because I actually read up on that about carb cycling, right? But because there
Yes.
were yeah, because there are other people who didn't believe in it, But
Yeah.
yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. It would really make sense. A lot of sense.
Well, so but
You also did.
mhm. why is
No,
it
no. Go
that
ahead.
why is it why is it like for other people they don't seem to need it though?
Need carb cycling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will push themselves to,
Mm.
perfection, and will just, this is the way it should be. This is how I'm going to do it, and I'm good with it. Maybe
Mm,
ignoring a few signs here and there that this is hurting, this is not good, or whatever. We can make ourselves do that. We put
true.
ourselves through that. Yeah, especially if we're like so dead set on a particular goal, and you don't want to screw it up, and you just
Uh-huh.
want to, yeah. But I was like that when I was younger, but now in my late 40s, I'm like totally listen to this body,
Mm-hmm,
listen
hmm.
to it,
But
and then eat cake when you want cake.
no,
I do.
I love that. I love that because like with admittedly I get these frustrations, right, whenever I would see people who are and thus the creation of this channel, right, of talking to
Yeah.
people who I think are living their ideal lives, because for
Mm.
me, like I want to get there already. Why am I not there yet? I want to go to sleep tonight, and when I wake up tomorrow, I am that person already. So for you, you said,
Yeah.
right, like you weren't like this when you were younger. So
Yeah.
what was that journey like, and how did you end up here, being more in tune with your body, trusting your intuition and all of that? So what was that journey like?
Yeah. I think it's because, since I was a kid, I was very athletic. So I grew up with asthma, and the doctor told me, for you to get rid of your, or to overcome your asthma, you have to be athletic.
Mhm.
So I did that. So I became athletic. I became a black belt in Taekwondo. I did dancing. I did all of this stuff. So I had abs and all of that. In my 20s, I'd run marathons and snowboarded for 7 hours up to my late 30s.
Woo!
And so yeah, but see, Mother Nature gave us all these hormones, right? The gift of hormones. And the reason for the hormones is that so we can screw up but still be able to give birth,
Uh-huh.
right? It's because we're in our reproductive years, and we need all that energy, we all need all that support to generate an offspring, pretty
Mhm.
much, and to raise as many as you can. So you need those hormones, and we tend to abuse it. We sleep, we party out, we do this, we do that, we over exercise, and yet we wake up the next day and we're like so strong still.
Uh-huh.
Yes, thank you, hormones, right? But then things started to change in my early 40s, so 40, 41. I never had kids, so I think perimenopause hit me quite early,
Mhm.
where I noticed a depletion in my hormones in maybe when I turned 43, 44.
Mhm.
So I also I developed hypothyroidism, and I
Mm.
also have the autoimmune version of that, which is Hashimoto's. And
Oh.
and when you have Hashimoto's, you might also have the other sister autoimmune. So I have Sjogren's syndrome, which is another autoimmune sister to Hashimoto's, and rheumatoid arthritis. So I have three autoimmune diseases. So I started to realize, oh my God, I can't do workout. I'll try to do HIIT or try to do
Mhm.
kettlebell, where before it was nothing to me. Like I would work out for 3 hours a day. I was like, wow, really fit. This time I was like breathless. I was like, oh my gosh. And then it kind of dawned on me, okay, well, there's a reason Mother Nature depletes hormones at the time that it does. It's
Mhm.
because you no longer need
Mhm.
extra hormones to
Mhm.
reproduce, right?
Mhm.
And actually, it's a gift because Mother Nature said, okay, I'm turning that off. And you no longer have to think about offspring. Now's the time to think about you and only you. Now's the time to focus on you as a person, as an individual. Shine your light, you know, um, find your purpose and mission in life, because it's no longer to raise kids.
Mhm.
It's all about you. So it's a gift. Menopause is a gift. And so I realized, okay, so I'll go with my body. I'll go with the reserves that I have, that I was given, because it's time. It's the cycle.
Mhm.
It's right. And so there, I had to kind of tone it down.
Mhm.
And then that's about the time, I think I was 43, 44, when I discovered biohacking and bulletproof. And that kind of resonated, because actually Dave Asprey and I are the same age. I'm
Mhm.
a year older, I think. Yeah, I'm a year older. So andropause doesn't really happen until later, but he was also in that stage where you have to take care of your body, you have to conserve energy, and you have to create energy
Mhm.
as well. And so when I got into biohacking, wow, I discovered how to create energy, how to make my cells create more energy, and how to expend it intelligently.
Mhm.
And I feel younger than ever. And my biological
Love it.
age is between 29 and 33.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I don't even have to work out. I forget working out. Just do intelligent movement, right?
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
resonates. And
I wanted to ask
yeah,
you about that. So you mentioned, because
yeah,
that's the first time I've heard of it. Like
yeah,
expending energy intelligently. So what does that look like?
yeah. Expending energy intelligently is not to do cardio exercise,
Mhm.
which really has no benefit, not
Mhm.
much. Okay, you're going to sweat and whatever, you're moving, whatever. But walking is actually better than running, because there's
Mhm.
less psi on your feet, on your knees, there's less pressure found per step. And walking mobilizes the joints as well. You're also moving, you're making use, but it's also good for the brain.
Mm.
It encourages neurogenesis and all of that. And if you're out in the sun, you're getting vitamin D. So walking is really, so that's intelligent. That's working with the biology, for the biology, not just because you have some weird goal of, losing weight and because I need to sweat because I have to be thin, which, by the way, I did for decades.
I love how you
Since my-
said, I love how you said some weird goal.
yeah, right. So we're going like to lose weight, have to be thin, I have to look good in shorts and whatever, which I did since my teens,
Uh-huh.
right? I was like, I'm working out. Why? So I can look good in my bikini, and right. But now it's like, it's so I can have a better brain and I have a better functioning body, and I don't have any pain.
Mhm.
I'm comfortable in my skin,
Yeah.
and I'm moving well, and I'm interacting
I
well.
love that. I love
All
that.
of that.
Mhm.
It's a different perspective now.
Exactly.
It was
Yes.
forced. Yeah, it was forced upon me because if I had kept on doing what I was doing, skiing and for 7 hours, yoga 6 times a week, 3 hours a day, the type of thing at this age, my trajectory is cancer or more autoimmune or like advanced stages of autoimmune. I told you I have three. So I
Mhm.
would be in advanced stages, which would be fatigue, depression, being stuck in my bed and being irritable and all of that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I am none of those.
But it's good that you're not plagued with those kinds of insecurities, because you know how it is, right? Like as particularly for us women, right? Like as we age, we're
Yeah.
more concerned about what we look like, right?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you play with what your body. You go with where the body's at.
Mm-hmm.
Start with where you are and accept the changes that the body needs to
Oh.
go through this, because Mother Nature put it there for a reason. It's not just some random thing. Oh, you're gonna get fat and ugly, and you're not gonna be able to do hit exercises anymore, and you're gonna have this big paunch and whatever when you hit menopause. Not true. Not
Mhm.
true. We have total control over our own biology, and we have total control over the way we perceive ourselves to be, or where we can be, where we believe we can be. We have
Mhm.
total control over that as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm 48, and I'm menopause. I'm peri actually,
Mhm.
almost there,
Mhm.
but no half flashes and nothing from my autoimmune disease except for Sjogren's.
Mhm.
Sjogren's syndrome attacks the mucosal lining, the tear ducts, and the saliva. The
Mhm.
only thing that's presenting is I don't cry tears.
Oh.
Sad. So when I watch my Korean teleseries,
Uh-huh.
I'm crying, like I'm really sad and crying, but there's nothing coming down.
No
That's
way.
the only thing. Yeah, that's the only thing.
Wow, it's the first time I've heard of it.
Yeah, I know, it's interesting, right? But
It
that's
is.
the only thing. Otherwise, there's no other bad stuff that comes out of it.
Yeah, but you look absolutely amazing, and I'm
Thank
actually
you.
a lot encouraged with what you're sharing,
Yes.
because there was a period uh like I was 39, I think, and I thought like I was experiencing hot flashes, and I'm like, I'm
Oh,
freaking 39. This cannot be happening, and
yeah.
I actually
Yeah,
panicked a little bit. Mhm.
yeah, I understand.
Mhm.
Understand. Some women get it that early too.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
But now
Yeah.
they're gone. When I
Okay. Good.
when I put my attention to that, and listen to my body more and corrected it. I said, maybe it's
Yeah.
this, and finally I got it, and yeah. So now
Okay.
it's gone. But yeah, I was like, so this is what it's like. No, I don't want it.
Yeah, yeah, not yet. I mean, my gosh, it's not time.
I
Yeah, yeah.
know, right? So
But it
yeah.
doesn't have to be a nightmare. It really doesn't have to be. I mean, a
Mhm.
lot of women are still enjoying. I mean, even if actually, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for menopause because I don't want to have to keep going through the monthly and have to wait for it. Because there are months where I don't have it, several
Mm-hmm.
months. I'm really impaired.
Mm-hmm.
Months I don't have it. Then all of a sudden it's here again. I'm like, I have to go to the supermarket. I have to go to Healthy Options to buy that again. It's like,
Yeah.
I thought I was done. That's
Uh-huh.
thing.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, I don't mind getting it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
me
wish it
neither.
even.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Me
Yeah.
neither, you know. But yeah, that part is what I dread. And you sharing that you're not showing those symptoms, I'm like, yeah, then you know, I could do it as well, right? And be in
Yeah.
menopause and
Yeah.
not experience hot flashes because that was nasty. I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of things that cause menopause to be uncomfortable. A lot of it has to do with, again, lifestyle practices. I mean, if you're eating junk, you're not sleeping well, and you're not managing your stress, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
again, that's a hormone, cortisol, which is secreted by the adrenal glands. Again, it will play around with the estrogen and all of that, you know, and the liver and yeah, and then you'll get worse symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
So really, the key is to manage your stress and have good lifestyle practices. Get really, really good sleep. It's
Yeah.
one of the most paramount. And
Ah,
no smoking, no drinking.
good. I don't do.
What else? No sodas. If you do
Ah,
all of that for menopause years, oh my God, it's gonna be a breeze. It'll be a
mm,
breeze.
I
Really.
see. All right, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say because it's almost so I took an hour.
Oh yeah, hour.
All
I'm
right.
sorry I babbled so
No,
much.
no, no. I actually like it when you know the interviews go really really fast, and then you know I realize that it's
Yeah.
an hour already. But anyway, so the last question, right? Um, hold on. What was it? Like,
Your non-negotiable
what are your non-negotiables? Like in your personal
in
life and in
life.
business, yeah.
In life, I always think of something like self sovereignty. In a
Mm,
way, that means if somebody has a set of beliefs that's different from your own, respect it, accept it.
mhm,
You don't have to imbibe it or embrace it, and you also don't have to resist it. So just accept it and coexist in peace.
yeah,
So I wouldn't, stuff my beliefs down your throat. I
mhm,
don't want to do that. I've done it, and I don't like myself when I do that. So that's a kind of self-awareness as well.
uh-huh,
It's feedback that I grew from. I grew because of that,
mhm,
and I don't like that. And in the same token, I also don't like people stuffing their beliefs down my throat and trying to convince me that this is true. We
mhm,
all have our truths, and it all must be respected. And I think because we're different as a species, that's what makes us unique. And that means we are eternal intelligence. We are not artificial intelligence. Because artificial intelligence, well, yeah, they're just robots. They just go around and go about their day, and there's no difference between one and the other. But we should celebrate the differences we have. It makes this world dynamic, more colorful, more insightful, more interesting. So yeah, so just a mutual respect of each
mhm.
other.
I love
That's
that.
yeah, that's what's
Mhm,
needed, I
uh-huh.
think.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
it. I'll I'll uh I'll probably replay this last part over and over and over again, particularly
Okay.
that insight. I
Cool.
love it. Right. And with your business naman, like what are your non-negotiables?
In business, all I want is an open mind, especially in my type of business, just an open mind.
Mhm,
I would like to work with people who have some sort of consciousness. In other words, they're not in it just for money
mhm,
or to make a profit.
mhm.
We're in it to be of service,
Yeah.
to fulfill a mission, a purpose, to be of
Mhm,
service to humanity. That's certainly why I put up this business. And I'm not saying that I don't need money. I do. It's the
mhm,
currency of the world that makes the world go around. So I'm riding that wave, but
mhm,
with a lot of consciousness that's attached to it. And
mhm,
so when I did an ayahuasca retreat, one of the most important messages I got from Mother Aya was, when love is your currency, everything falls into place.
Ah,
So
I
yeah, it's
love
really
that.
amazing.
Ah, my
Yeah,
goodness.
amazing. Thank you, Mother Aya. But I always remind myself that even when I'm down and out and my business is slow, always try to be of service to someone,
Mm,
sincerely help them, because they come to me for help, and then it'll just flow.
mhm.
It'll be taken care of. The universe has my back,
Ah,
as long as that's where I'm at. And so I would like to work with people who have the same kind, or in the same kind of stream as I am, consciousness
mhm.
stream as I am, which is not to make it all about money, but about something much bigger than us.
I love it.
So
Oh my, that moved
yeah.
me. Oh my God. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for
thank
that
you. Welcome.
share. I'm taking
You're
that with
very
me,
welcome.
okay? Putting it
Yeah,
here
go
in my
for it.
pocket.
Okay, go for it. Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
make an infographic or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you
yeah.
so much, Ellie,
Thank
for being generous with
you.
your time and your insight.
Thank you
Thank
for this
you.
opportunity.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Next time, ano naman, like sa, ano ma, sa unlimited na
Sige,
segment.
sa unlimited.
Oh, para we get to
Sige, sige.
feature the machines and how they work and all that.
Sige, sure. Would
Sige.
love that.
All
Thank you
right.
so much for the opportunity, Tim.
Of
Thanks,
course.
everybody.
All right. My privilege. Thank you
Okay,
again. All right. Bye, Ellie.
bye. See you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.